Joining me now with more is Kendall Coffee, legal analyst and former U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida. Kendall, the Chicago police superintendent said there was never a question as to whether this incident would be investigated as a hate crime. So what is your take on that and on these charges here?
Well, there's plenty of evidence to suggest that this was a hate crime. We know that the video itself included racial epithets, and there's an indication that this individual was singled out for hours of torture because of apparently a disability. Both of those issues qualify as hate crimes under Illinois law, and I think both of them are something that at some point the federal prosecutors may consider, although the federal laws are a little different and have some jurisdictional issues.
Talk about this videotape here. I mean, the fact that it went out on Facebook Live, is that challenging perhaps for prosecutors? What are they going to be looking at as they try to prove intent here? Or does it help them, given that, you know, video is obviously more reliable than, for example, an eyewitness account?
It's a very powerful tool for prosecutors in many respects. First of all, they've got voices of some of the defendants. They've got images of some of the defendants. They've got images of a victim being brutalized. It doesn't get better than that in a courtroom, but also just the idea that four people want to torture somebody, tell all their friends about it, claim some kind of perverse glory for it. That is the kind of evidence that any defense lawyer would dread and any jury would react to with very dramatic consequences.
So how would a defense lawyer go about trying to present this case or trying to defend these suspects? What would the strategy be from the other side?
Well, the first hope a defense lawyer would have, there are four different defendants, is that his or her client is less of an actor in the crime, based on what the voices are, based on the images. But Holly, in the meantime, these are going to be four individuals, apparently including two sisters, who are very quickly being told by their lawyers, we are not going to win this case. You've got to cooperate, come forward and try to find a way to minimize your responsibility if you can and point the finger at others. So this is not only going to be a matter of trying to address the videotape, but also defendants turning on each other.
You know, Facebook released that statement about the video, quote, let's pull it up here. We do not allow people to celebrate or glorify crimes on Facebook and have removed the original video for this reason. In many instances, though, when people share this type of content, they are doing so to condemn violence or raise awareness about it. In that case, the video would be allowed. So pull back a little bit, Kendall, here. Big picture-wise, what role does Facebook play in this? Would there be any culpability there or no?
Well, I didn't love that second part of Facebook's statement, which seemed to kind of minimize allowing these kind of things to get on the air. I think this case could be an important opportunity to examine what are the responsibilities of Facebook in something like this. Legally, there may be no responsibility under present law. Certainly, there's a big moral question, and I think lawmakers have the ability to look at not necessarily censoring the Facebook, but saying, what kind of mechanism do you have to take things off? And by the way, what kind of mechanism do you have to make sure these things are reported to the authorities right away? Because this was a brutal crime in progress, and it's just not clear to me, as at least 16,000 people were watching this for perhaps 30 minutes, how soon the viewers reacted and how soon Facebook reacted.
Quickly, Kendall, do you see this as sort of perhaps something that would set a precedent now as a case and as this discussion now about the legal and moral implications and culpability here that could sort of set case law or at least set a precedent moving forward?
I think so. I think that this, of course, it's a horrible, violent, and potentially racist episode. But beyond that, I think it's an examination of the role of social media, because to some extent, these folks may have gotten into torturing a victim because they wanted to, in some sick way, self-promote themselves.
Former U.S. Attorney Kendall Coffee, thank you very much for that perspective. Coming up next.